Time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. Bud and Ross both still with us. Ross, I'll start with you, though. Senator Cornyn says passing health care is keeping a political promise, but Senator Cruz is laying a little more low on this. What's his strategy?
Well, I think he's waiting to see, A, how it goes over, and B, to kind of walk through all of the complicated maze that is the Health Care Act. As Trump says, it's complicated.
It is complicated, Bud, and why is there so much disagreement? They've been talking about this for years.
Well, it's a question of, do you want to make something happen, or do you want to just continue to sit back and blame Obama for it? Once you pass a new act, then the Trump administration kind of owns it. And Speaker Ryan, we have these two senators, and one very much is from a good government side of the party that wants to do something and make it work, and then Senator Cruz wants to be more of the accusatory outsider blaming Washington. And this is not really anything new. You know, Texans have elected both of these senators. They come from two different sides, and we tend to elect people who come from both the get it done side and the overturn the apple cart side.
And we have both of those representing us right now, too. Ross, will switch off to a story that did not get a lot of coverage over the last week. A Senate committee talked about how to prevent big ER charges, charges from emergency rooms by out-of-network doctors. People have been hit with some big bills. Is this something, though, the legislature can fix?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're at least going to look at it. You know, this is a thing when you see a standalone emergency room or standalone, emergency center, you don't know which kind it is. Is it an emergency room? Is it a for-profit? Is it a not-for-profit? Is it in your insurance network? Is it out of your insurance network? When they're out of network, sometimes the charges can be enormous.
Indeed, that's what you've seen also, Bud.
Well, the studies showed that 1 out of 5 patients who go to an ER get hit with some out-of-network bill, and they're told, this is in my network, that's fine, it's all covered, but then one of the doctors sends them an out-of-network bill, and it happens in surgical centers too. Suddenly you get a $2,000 bill from somewhere else. There's a bill in the Senate that would allow that to go to mediation, but the most important thing, it would make them tell you and notify you, hey, if you get hit with an out-of-pocket bill, there's a mediation process on this. This is one of the big problems in healthcare, is people who think they've got all their ducks in a row, got their coverage, and suddenly you get this big out-of-network bill from nowhere.
Do you expect something to pass out of the legislature, Bob?
It looks like there are both House and Senate bills on this, so since there's companion legislation, they're the same bills. It looks like that won't need much conference committee. If they pass each chamber, it'll go.
And Ross will switch off to a topic you wrote about in your column at TexasTribune.org. This is the difference between both legislative bodies down there in Austin. When the Senate was talking about, among other things, bathrooms last week, the House was trying to fix school finance. It really shows the difference between these two bodies, huh?
Yeah, there's always tension between the House and the Senate. Sam Rayburn used to have this line that the Republicans are the opposition, but the Senate's the enemy. So there's always something like that. But this time the differences are pretty exacerbated. Joe Strauss is from what Bud was calling the get-her-done end of the party. Dan Patrick's from the more disruptive end of the party, and they reflect the party's politics. They're moving in different directions right now.
Jason, we can use different labels now. We could say that the House is full of Bush Republicans and the Senate is full of Trump Republicans, led by Trump's campaign leader in Texas. And so you really have a Senate that wants to do something that in some ways is the opposite of what the House wants. It'll all come down to May 29th, and we'll see who gets their way.
And Bud, 30 seconds left here too. What issues are these two chambers on the same page about?
Well, they're going to have to come together on the budget. That's the one thing they have to get done. Even their budgets are far apart right now. I can't think of one thing other than ethics, a couple of governor's emergency issues where they're together.
Sounds good. Gentlemen, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. And thank you for watching as well. We expect the bathroom bill to clear the Senate this week. Question is, with no support in the House, is the issue then dead? Hope you'll watch with us. Have a good week.